I try to be compassionate. I'm going to try and do that today with this story, but we need to address the issue of language and perception as it pertains to gender ideology. From the Post-Millennial, viral law and crime story about murder-suicide dragged for referring to woman victim as pregnant boyfriend. What the F does this mean? Oh, I think they're quoting me on that one. Is that it? They put my tweet up there? I said, what the F does this mean? Okay, so here's the story. Well, all right, I'm going to be light on the story because I'm not here to talk about violent crime. I'm here to talk about perception and ideology. And the story is, man shot and killed his pregnant boyfriend and then himself in murder-suicide. And I'm just like, wait, what? When I read it, of course I understood the general idea of what they were saying. But what these websites, these media outlets don't understand is that the average person is going to go, huh? His pregnant boyfriend? Is it a typo? That's why I said, what the F does this mean? Look, I mentioned this earlier. I go out in the real world. I touch grass. I talk to people. They don't understand any of this. It is a hyper online fake reality that makes very little sense. So let's talk about perception. We had a show 2 weeks ago with two drag performers addressing whether or not drag was appropriate for kids. One of the individuals identified as trans as well as a drag performer. And I'm genuinely confused by that. Drag is males, men who don't identify. It's not a trans issue. They dress up like women for performance. So you are drag, but you are also trans. Doesn't that conflict with each other? Isn't that like they're two different things? Hey, look, I'm not trying to be condescending or anything. I just don't know. I don't understand. I want to play for you some videos. And I'm not here to be mean to these people. I think that we should listen to this because we can actually understand one of the biggest issues that's affecting us now when it comes to gender ideology. Let me play this clip for you. Oh, actually, I got to make sure I turn the audio on. It's another day, another me not putting audio on.
Coffee shop with a friend, and I saw a stranger that I thought was really cute, and I decided to go up and ask them out. I was hyping myself up for like 2 minutes because the thought of rejection terrifies me, but my therapist says that I should start doing it in order to meet people, so I approached the stranger. Stranger was sitting with a friend. I went up to them and I was like, hey, so sorry to bother you. I think you're really cute. I was wondering if I could get your number. They look at me and they go, oh my gosh, I am so flattered. That means so much. Thank you. But I'm actually straight. And I said, no worries. And I walked away and I didn't tell them that I am a woman, a trans woman, but I didn't say that. The idea of being rejected and having someone assume my gender felt safer to me than me standing up for myself and saying to the person I'm actually a woman. I have a deep voice. I wasn't wearing any makeup. I'm wearing a cute outfit though. So, you know, there's that. I know that this isn't an everyday occurrence. It still hurt. It is what it is. We're not meant for each other. There are lots of other people out there who see me for the way that I see myself, and I'm excited to continue to find those people. And I'm still hot, so.
See me for the way I see myself is the issue at hand. The individual we had on the show, maybe a girl is their name, uses she, her pronouns, said that they want people to see her the way she sees herself. That's impossible, I responded. It is impossible. It will never be possible. That will never change. I'm not saying that to be mean to anybody. Now, I will use she, her pronouns. When Maybe came on, she said, I know that you use preferred pronouns for trans guests you've had on the show. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. And there's a lot of questions around it, and there's challenges, in fact. But I don't know that, in general, the issue is, look, I'll put it this way. Ben Shapiro mentioned that he wouldn't use male pronouns for Blair White because it would confuse people. If he went to a cafe and he was like, you know, go sit by him and then pointed at Blair, people would be like, who? They'd be confused by it, right? There's a perception issue there. You could make the argument that this individual in this video is overwhelmingly male looking, and therefore you'd say he, him. That's typically how people do things, even when they're wrong. There's sometimes women who look very manly and they get called he, and they're like, I'm a woman. You're like, whoops, sorry. And there are effeminate men, you know, less so, but it could happen. The issue here is that while I have no problem just being like, you know, whatever, it's easier just to navigate by being polite. The reality is I'm not trying to be mean. I will look, maybe a girl, the drag performer, the transgender individual does not look like a woman, is, I believe, you know, a large, deep voiced 6'5" or so masculine individual dressed in a feminine social style of wear. I don't have any issue. I mean, live your life, you know, do what you want to do. I'll mind my own business. I think there are certain subject matters that we want to keep away from kids, maybe actually agreed. And, you know, we talked about these books. I do think there's some tribal element that makes it difficult for them to come out against it, or in reality, maybe many of them want the kids to get access to these books. But the ultimate reality is this. This person here, hey, Live your life. Be happy. Tell yourself you're hot. Do whatever you want to do. We all try to get by, build our confidence, and it's a good thing. Not always, but there are a lot of guys. I see these posts from people, incels or whatever, online getting made fun of. And it's like, dude, you watch videos of these guys, and many of them are average-looking dudes. You need to just start working on yourself. You need to believe in yourself. Well, a lot of people are socially maladjusted, and they lack confidence. Hey, this person's got confidence in spades. But here's the issue I'm getting to. Saying, I did not tell them I was a woman. Why would you have to? Why would you have to? And that right there is the point. This idea from these people that the world must see them the way they see themselves. It's like asking for a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. It doesn't exist. You can't convey that information to someone before they've met you unless you've met digitally and communicated already. That is to say, if I walked up to someone and said identified as non-binary, how would they know unless I told them that because I am perceivably male? In which case, the questions they have, the requests they have, they're impossible. This individual said, it still hurt. Why? This person said nice things to you and had no way of knowing that you were a trans woman. They have no way to know that. We're supposed to just make assumptions to spare your feelings. You see, ultimately what it comes down to is there is no way to spare someone's feelings. End of story. If you call a biological woman trans and use the wrong pronouns, she'll get upset. If you call a man a woman, he'll say, those are fighting words, get upset. I mean, typically most people just ignore it. But how are we supposed to know what your pronouns are? We're supposed to ask. That's also insulting. You see, therein lies the problem. Go up to a woman and say, are you a guy or a woman? Do you think they're going to be happy? They're not going to be happy. They're going to be upset. There's no way to navigate this. Individuals want everyone to see them the way they see themselves. And then it comes down to a question of medical care. I'll play another video for you.
23 doctors are still forcing their trans patients to sit there and misgender themselves multiple times over and fucking over again to satiate their confusion and curiosity, and how they seem to just not be able to understand how I said I take testosterone because I am transgender, my body doesn't produce its own, and then later saying how, like, referencing my pregnancy and this and that, and she just didn't get it. Just didn't fucking get it. Just had to really drill it in that she was confused.
All right, let's break this one down. I'm not going to play the full video. A trans man, biological female who takes testosterone, identifies as a man, went to the hospital. The doctor said, do you have a uterus? Are you female? Explain this to me. There's a reason for it. It's not because they're mad at you. It's not because they hate you. It's because they're trying to help you and save your life. Females and males have different organs. Isn't that crazy? Yep. Different organs, different body parts, and in fact, different body shapes, different collagen, different muscle density, different bone density. Man, it's crazy. Males and females, very different. This individual is offended and angry that a doctor repeatedly asked about, tell me the limits and and who you are and what you have. This is important. It's important because if someone is, experiencing some kind of bleeding, and then it turns out that they're a man, they're male, the doctor's not going to assume it's like an ovarian cyst or cancer. If it's a female bleeding and there's blood on the pants, they might make different assumptions. These assumptions are very important in rapid treatment of someone who is injured or suffering some kind of ailment. Now, as we enter this world of transgender issues, there becomes a question about how to give people proper medication when they're offended if you do. Let me tell you a story, my friends. Did you know that it wasn't until the 90s that clinical trials required male and female test subjects? How about that? The pharmaceutical industry would do tests mostly on males, and they would get their results. Unfortunately, this meant the medication that they would put out wasn't tested on women because they didn't know. They didn't know. Pain medication, for instance. There's some pain meds that don't work as well on women. And so they would just think that women were whining. It's like, no, this numbs the pain for dudes, but not for ladies. So they passed a law saying you've got to do clinical trials on men and women because we got to have the data on that. They're different hormones, different bodies, different sugar levels, different fat levels. It matters. It matters a lot. If someone comes to the doctor, and Stephen Crowder did a good thing on this. He went to Planned Parenthood or something, as a trans woman and said that he was pregnant, that he took a pregnancy test, something like that. It's been a while. And they just said, okay, sure, fine, whatever, have a nice day. The reality is, if a woman urinates on a pregnancy test and it says positive, probably pregnant. If a man does it and it says positive, likely cancer. That's an interesting thing. Not always, not absolutely, but an indicator. They didn't say anything. This is the importance of knowing whether or not someone is male or female, whether they take testosterone or not. They'll say, are you on any medications? Yes, I take this, that, or otherwise. I take testosterone. Say, okay, what about any other drugs? This person could simply say no. So what happens if the doctor says, you know what, fine, you're a man, I'm going to treat you exactly as a man, and then their blood congeals, something horrible happens, and they die? The doctor is responsible. Herein lies the big issue that needs to be addressed. By all means, I have no ill will towards Kane the dad or this other trans person. I want them to be happy. I'm happy that they're doing the best they can to try and live their lives for whatever reason. But I want you all to know, there will never be a circumstance where I see you as you want to be seen, because it's not possible. Now, people can lie and be nice. Some trans people will pass to varying degrees, and people will genuinely see them, as male or female. But for many people, you will be seen as you are seen. That's it. Not for how you want to be seen. Hey, you know what? I'd love it if I had a full head of hair and perfect teeth. Instead, I've got crooked teeth. I'm bald. I'm genetically missing one of my lateral incisors. Ain't never coming back. And you know what? Maybe I could have gotten some kind of affirming surgery or whatever. I don't do that. People are like, you wear a beanie to hide that you're bald. Like, I don't know. I kind of always worn a beanie even when I had hair. It's just like part of the, style or whatever. I don't know, whatever. If I really cared that much, I'd have gotten my teeth fixed a long time ago. Now, my teeth, the only thing wrong with them, crooked. But therein lies the point. I can't go to people and be like, I want you to see me as having perfect teeth. I'm just like, this is who I am. It's what I am. I don't know. I ain't crying about it. I like, I lost a lot of weight in the past couple of years because I, gains and fluctuates. I was really skinny when I was a teenager, skating all the time. And then in my late 20s, started gaining a little bit of weight. Mostly in the past couple of years, gained a little bit of weight. Decided to lose it. Didn't really care that much about appearance as obviously. But I do it for myself. If there's something I want to be and want to look like, I'll do what I can for me. I wish that these other people could see that too, that they can just be themselves. But I suppose the real issue is that to varying degrees, people are not okay with themselves. I think social media is making people insane. It's unfortunate. I know that the left is going to say these people are being themselves by taking testosterone and getting surgery and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, that's the opposite of my point. I wish they could be okay with who they were. I understand they can't. Fine. I'm not them. They can live their lives. Let's just make sure we're protecting kids so that kids don't grow up to become unhappy, in these ways. For these individuals, the fact that even after everything they've done, they're still getting angry about it, I think says a lot about what they're truly trying to accomplish. It's not about doing something for themselves. It's about doing something for everyone else. Seems contradictory, right? These individuals are trying to be their true selves, taking these medications. No, I don't see that. These people are trying to become something for other people to see, and they get angry when other people don't affirm that view. I guess I can say it this way. People look at me all the time. I don't care what they think. I really don't. If I did, like I said, I get my teeth fixed or something. I don't know. I'm just me. I do my thing. Life is life. I'm happy with who I am. And I just try to be a better version of myself every day. Other people are going to see me as things that I'm not. Whatever. The left lies about my political views. It's fine. I went down to the Cellular Performance Institute and I received some experimental treatment for my hip problem. Seems to have cured me. Prescribed by a doctor, for sure. And I get this tweet where they're like, Tim will rag on vaccines, experimental vaccines all day, But then he'll go down and get experimental treatments. What an idiot. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I rag on mandates, and I've said this over and over again. I don't care about experimental vaccines. I think it's good that Trump funded experimental medicine. I think it's bad the government mandated it, period. I think Fauci lied. But I like experimental medicine. I like right to try. But they lie about who I am every single day. Well, that's just it. Lying is wrong. But the reality is, there's something I can do about other people seeing me in a certain way. Now, the liars I can call out. The media, the press, when they lie about my views or whatever, yeah, call those people out. But if I go to the street and someone's like, oh, that Tim Pool guy, he's a Republican, conservative, pro-lifer, whatever, I'm like, you know what I can do? I can go and tell them it's not true, if I really care. Or I can just accept there's a lot of people who believe a lot of fake things about me, and I can't change that about everybody. As for these individuals, you've taken medicine, you've taken hormones, you've gotten surgery, and still, for many of you, people will not see you any differently. This will never change. That's it. The thing about trans women, overwhelmingly, you can tell they're trans. That's not an insult. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just true. For trans men, I was talking with an LGBTQ activist type saying trans men have big hips. They do, because females have wide hips and their shoulders are not as broad. So you can see these things, the facial features. Many people argue that it's easier for a female to pass as a man after transitioning than it is for a man as a woman. To varying degrees. I would agree with that, because testosterone has a lot of pronounced dramatic changes on the body. I don't care if you want to get surgery, get hair plugs, if you want to get laser hair removal or take hormones, do you. But I will say this, it is not a good thing that in our country and society, people are so unhappy with who they are that they try to surgically and medically become someone else. I'm not singling out trans people on that point. I'm talking about all plastic surgery, be it breast implants, hair plugs, whatever. Just do your thing. Be you. Be you. I wear a beanie all the time. Well, that's part of who I am, I guess. That's like the extent to which I've altered my appearance, I suppose. But, like I said, go back and look at all of my old skate videos. I'm always wearing the beanie. It's just like I've always done it. It's a skateboard thing, I guess. And then, it becomes part of the show or whatever. But there are a lot of people who demand other people see them in a certain way. That's the limit. That's the line. It's not going to happen. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up later today. I'm going to start to, focus. You know what I think I'm going to do is, instead of doing 5 per day, because I think it negatively impacts people's ability to watch videos, instead of doing 10 a.m., 1, 4, 6, and 6:30, I'm going to do 4, 10 a.m., 1, 4, and 6. And then the additional segment, we'll put up 4 on Friday. Then we'll have 4 every day instead of 5 every day and none. You see what I'm doing? I think that'll be better in the long run. So I'll do that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And check out The Culture War, which, I believe is now going live at the exact same time as a video like this, over at youtube.com/Timcast to see fierce debates and conversations around a variety of culture war issues. And thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.